Hello, I'm Jomika, and welcome back to part 2 of AI Plays Minecraft. This is our computer vision version 2 setup. We did change it, how it works. That way we can automatically label everything. Because before, it was not time efficient at all. Proof of concept was fine. Looks like there's a fire back there. Um, but yeah, once we got into like trying to add different things, I didn't want to go through 600 images over and over and over again. So I took some suggestions from you guys, or really one suggestion, and that was to automatically set it up so I don't have to label everything by hand. Um, so yeah, we have a whole new training set. Before we were going through and selecting the whole tree as one. For here, it would be just one spruce, but now we do them by log individually. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so. And if you take a look on the right side of the screen, there are 5 little boxes there. So the way it works is I made a mod using Fabric that will take a screenshot, and at the same time it takes a screenshot, it will collect all block data on the screen. That includes grass, stone, coal, diamonds, emeralds, basically everything. I don't think I'm collecting leaves right now just because I had some issues with the leaves getting in the way of some of the logs. So it doesn't do any transparent blocks. I don't know if glass. I think it ignores glass too, just things like that. It doesn't get any entities like sheep or cows or mobs, anything like that, that fish. It also does not get items dropped on the ground because, yeah, I didn't check for that. I really just wanted to focus on the trees, get that working. Later we can expand it. The more blocks we add, more different types and everything, the more training data we need, the longer it takes to train everything up. So I really just want to stay focused on certain parts, expand it as we go. I'm probably going to have to buy some more disk space at some point because I keep running out. Just because there's work stuff, there's this stuff, there's other AI stuff, there's videos, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at. This version also collects 6 different log types. It is oak, birch, and spruce, which you can see here. Then there's jungle, dark oak, and acacia. I did have mangrove in there as well, but then I decided it's not really getting a lot of data, just because it's mostly the roots. And then if we tried to train it to actually go up and get the mangrove logs, it's going to be much different than if we're just getting oak or the 6 I mentioned. So we can worry about that one a little bit later. It'll have to be trained a little bit differently. We can probably start with the working version of, when we have it, of collecting oak and birch and all that stuff, and then we can adjust it for if you're going for mangrove. So yeah, I guess what I'll do is kind of show you how we collect, or how we label things now, and how that process is done. So let me go ahead and get that set up, and then we can take a look. All right, I cleaned up the screen a little bit. Our little AI right side section is gone. There's no more labeling being done right now. And what I could do, there's 2 things I can do. One, I can push F7 and visible block capture started. We can run around, and every time it lags, it is collecting a screenshot and then collecting all of the data. It's really not meant to be played. I think it can be a little bit faster if we save it to a different spot, or there's ways we could speed it up a little bit. So I may do that later if I am playing on a Java server and I want to collect data while I play. The other way, which I have been doing, is pushing F8, which we don't have to do anything. We just push F8. It will figure out, based on our labels, which biomes we should go and visit. So I'm going to push F8 here, and it'll teleport us. So no balance report found. That just means I haven't trained on this computer. I've been using my Mac to do all the training. Just it's been easier to do it for me, anyways. So what it does is it will check to see if we have a balance report. If we're low on, let's say we're low on jungle wood. We don't have a lot of data on that. There's like maybe 500 or so labels for jungle wood. And then the rest are like 1,000 or so. It'll be like, all right, we're low on jungle wood. Let's teleport to the jungle biome. And then we'll move around there for 20 or so jumps or hops. And it'll collect the data there. So right now, it's just doing full random. It'll send us to an area. We'll hop around for 20 or so hops like it is now. It'll take a screenshot, collect all the block data in that screenshot, and save it. And then after a few or so, it'll find a new area and send us there, and it'll start collecting blocks there. This will keep going until I tell it to stop. And then after that's done, I can go ahead and train on that already labeled data. I don't have to do anything. I could leave this running all night as long as I have the space for it. It does take up a decent amount of space because we are saving all of the block data along with a screenshot. But yeah, that is basically it. It will freeze. This one seems a little bit longer. Okay, yeah. It'll freeze when it's going to new areas just to let it load a little bit longer. It looks like it's freaking out right now. Again, this is untested on my Windows machine. I've really only used my Mac. So we'll go ahead and stop that there. So yeah, it looks like it did come to a jungle biome. It is still pretty laggy. Anyways, yeah. So that is how this works. Let's go ahead and figure out the next piece. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. And then, yeah, I'll explain that. All right, so the next step after we do the training, after we do the data collecting, is we come in here and we kind of check to see what it's automatically labeled. So these kind of things, there's not much going on. Looks like none of these got labeled. Just gonna put that up to it not being on the normal machine I use. Looks like some things are still, actually let's take a look at this one. So nothing there, and then if we go, I think, okay. Actually, these are the originals. Anyways, we're not gonna worry about things not working perfectly right now, just because it's working good enough. So yeah, we move over all of the data we collected into the correct folder, and then we kind of open this labeler and we just make sure that it got everything basically correct. I haven't really had to go through and correct things just because things were, for the most part, right. Like this one here, we could add another box here and save it. But we have enough other examples that if it misses a few, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, after we do like a spot check, we go through, make sure it's all good. Then we go ahead and train the model. The training takes, I think it was like 4 hours last time I did it. The more like different block types we add, the more images we add, the longer it's going to take. So I'm definitely not going to retrain it right now just because we haven't really added any new like training data to get some good training done. And then, yeah, once the training's done, we can go ahead and use the model like we were in the beginning of the video, and it'll just do what it's been doing. So yeah, I think that is the basics of it. If you have any more questions about how we're doing things, please join the Discord. Happy to explain things, happy to talk about it, and discuss better ways to do stuff. Or yeah, if we didn't really talk about doing the automatic labeling, I would not have done it. It's something I had thought about doing, but I was like, nah, it's good enough. We're not going to really worry about it. But then as people started saying, hey, you should do it automatically, and then I started adding more blocks, I was like, yeah, long term, we're definitely going to need an automatic labeler. So that was put in place. I'm contemplating doing a couple things next in the next video. I kind of want to do like an automatic fishing, like AI fishing. I know you can set up AFK fishing with like redstone and doors and trapdoors and all that stuff. But I'd like it to be like an AI version that I can run. And we can make it a little bit smarter as we go. To start, it would really just be casting the rod, waiting for the bubbles, and then reeling it in, catching a fish, and doing it all over again. It wouldn't be any like grabbing a new like fishing pole or emptying your inventory or anything like that. And then the other thing I was thinking about is finishing up kind of the tree stuff. Well, not finishing up, but adding to it, making the player walk to a tree, chop it down, collect the stuff. I did kind of start that, but it's going to take a lot more training and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know thoughts in the comments, join the Discord, whatever. Let me know what you think. And that is going to do it for today. So if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you all in the next episode.